So we're chatting with Mark Daniels from Opportunity International Australia, based here in the Philippines. Now, mate, you've shared a little bit of your story about microfinance. For those who don't know what it is, explain it to me like I'm a 6-year-old. What is it?
Yeah, no problems. Basically, it's just micro, as in small loans, micro savings, deposits, micro insurance, and money transfers, which basically is kind of microfinance. So we target, typical loan size of about $150 US, so not big loans. So we lend. The lending is done on a 6-monthly basis, and the clients meet on a weekly, fortnightly, or monthly basis to repay those loans. So in a nutshell, it's access to capital that they normally would not be able to get, and they can establish a small business, support their family. One of the big things they use the income proceeds on is to educate the children of their family, and that's a dream for many poor people, as education is the way out of poverty. Microfinance is just one tool in the poverty alleviation toolbox. Poverty is complex, it's multi-dimensional, and so you need a whole range of interventions to help lift people up the ladder. One of the big things in the Philippines is microinsurance. The Philippines is kind of the third most impacted country for climate change, and so we know every year that there's unfortunately going to be a disaster. I say it's the supermarket for natural disasters, whether that's floods, droughts, typhoons, you name it. The Philippines is impacted, and unfortunately it's always the poor, and so microinsurance is an incredibly important tool for mitigating risk, because if a typhoon comes through, you're uninsured, you lose all your assets and you start again. And so many disasters, natural calamities, actually force people back below the poverty line after they've made incremental steps to get above. And so they're the type of services we provide. We're a Christian-based microfinance network. We're in over 20 countries around the world, but my focus is the Philippines. But we're Opportunity in Australia kind of look after India, Indonesia, China, and the Philippines.
And just to personalise it a bit, on this trip I was able to meet with a lovely lady who has a sewing business now, employing staff, and it all started 10 years ago with you guys. It really showed me how one small loan to one lady has now empowered her to employ all these others, and her kids have been educated. She's now successful, and it's affected the whole community. That's happening all over, isn't it?
It is, and what you saw yesterday was, we would regard as a successful client, but for many of our clients, it might be simply going from 1 meal a day to 3 meals a day, which is just as important. And so we serve a breadth of clients. So we serve the ultra poor and the entrepreneurial poor, and also the small to medium enterprises which create employment in communities. One of my favourite clients I visited in Bali in Indonesia. Woman was on her 9th loan cycle, created a pottery business, and she was now employing 100 people. She was actually exporting her ceramics, her pottery. And so that community where she lived, poor remote community, was transformed. Kids were going to school, there was hope. It was just an incredible transformation of a community. And all importantly, it's based on the sweat equity of our clients. We say that we're the only organisation that gives nothing away because they repay. And so there's an empowerment of the poor. There's a mindset change. It's not a handout. They're doing all the hard work to get themselves out of poverty. And so that's what we like. We like to see that. And so, yeah, it's a privilege to meet such clients.